What is going on, everybody? It is episode 440 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I'm here with my co-host. Would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Today might be a shit show, but who better to accompany us on this journey than Phil Labonte?
Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Labonte. I am the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains, anti-communist and counter-revolutionary. Doesn't my voice sound deep today?
It does.
It's
very deep.
Are you trying to do that?
Not particularly. Just I'm a little tired. So.
Okay.
It's my voice does that too. Like when I'm if I've been lacking sleep even more than usual, it gets gravelly. Actually, there have been days where my voice goes out and my voice is low like that, and I'm like, how can I capture that and do that full time? Because I hate the sound of my own voice. When we're editing,
You said, what did you say? That's disgusting. It's abhorrent, and it should be a crime.
Yes, my voice. Mary will sometimes when we're done with the show, I'm editing the full show proper. She's editing the social media clip, and I hear my voice, and I'm just like, this is disturbing. It's disgusting. I can't believe there are human beings that listen to this.
You said if you subscribe to this channel, it should be a war crime.
Wow.
I don't know how you guys do
Taking
it,
the
ladies.
self-deprecating humor a little too far.
I don't think that's necessary.
It's not necessary.
I don't think we need to involve the UN.
I was gonna say, the Geneva Convention has a problem with the sound of my voice most of the time.
I don't think so.
Guys, we got some stuff to talk about today. So the writers and the actors strike is still going on, which is why you're getting announcements like the one we're getting today, which is that there is a Taylor Swift movie coming out in October. Now, I'm being a little bit hyperbolic. It is a Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie. She really is taking over the entire United States and the world at large. And as you know, not that long ago, I floated the question. I said, what would it take, for Barbie, for women to capture the movie theaters the way they did with Barbie? This might be the first step forward, is to get the Swifties in the theater. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Florence Pugh, who says that as far as she's concerned, nipples are freedom. She believes that she should be allowed to just go around with no shirt on. No, she's not actually saying that. She wore a dress in which you could see her nipples, and she's saying, why is everyone so shocked and so upset by the sight of my, what did she call them? What did she call them? Perky? Did she actually say perky?
No, she said her cute nipples.
Yes.
She said that.
Is this person, who's this person?
She's an actress.
She's in Oppenheimer.
She was in Oppenheimer. She's a Marvel character. She plays Natalia in Marvel.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care.
Well, we're gonna talk about it. So we're gonna discuss that. We're also gonna talk about Miley Cyrus's brother, who goes and dunks on a bunch of OnlyFans girls, and the media says, "How dare you?"
Miley Cyrus, come get your mans.
Yeah,
that's
really.
what they're saying.
Your bruv. Yeah, yeah, you got to come get him. Also, there's a really funny story about it's literally just a TV guy, or no, it's a shock jock in the UK. I didn't know they had shock jocks in the UK, but apparently that's a thing. It must be very shocking.
I mean, Piers Morgan would consider himself one of them, right?
I guess. But a shock jock basically called Prince Harry a whiny baby. And
Prince Harry's a whiny baby.
He is a whiny baby. So we're going to discuss all that.
He's not even a royal.
We got a bunch of other stuff. We're gonna kind of freeform here today. So if you're ready, Mary, we'll get right into it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Phil.
You know I'm ready.
All right. Guys, remember, hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. If the sound of my voice has not yet made you turn off the tab.
It's the sound of freedom,
that's exactly what it is.
Never.
If they're allowing me to have a voice on here, that truly is the sound of freedom. So do that. Remember, all Super Chats, $20 and over. We will interrupt the discussion. We will read those Super Chats right then and there. We will get right back on topic. Also, there was apparently, from what several people sent to me on Twitter, Twix yesterday, there was shenanigans going around with the Super Chats. People were saying that they were trying to Super Chat and YouTube just wouldn't send it through. So, YouTube, you suck.
We're being shadow banned. We're victims.
We are
et cetera,
It's because we're too controversial.
Yeah.
We're too controversial. We have too many hot takes.
We're anti-establishmentarianism.
Yeah.
I literally make that face every time somebody's like, I'm being shadow banned. I'm like, are you really?
I'm so tired of the word shadow banned. Everybody that doesn't get, if their entire
friends list. What else are we supposed to call it?
Well, if their entire list of followers, if they don't get an equal number of likes to the number of followers they have, they're sure that they're being suppressed.
They're out to get me.
Yeah.
It does speak to the conceited nature of our culture now, where
Absolutely.
everyone's you're imagining that there's some dude over at Twitter/X who's like, I just don't like him. Like, there may be a couple of people in the world that actually have that type of clout. For the most part, that's not how it works.
Yep.
Back when Instagram had a chronological feed of the people you follow, that's a crazy idea, right? That you would follow someone and you see their posts.
It's crazy.
Back when you had that on Instagram, people would definitely take it really personally if you didn't like every post.
Yeah. Now you don't notice, right? Because you'll see like people's posts will go by and you'll see like 5 new ones and you're like, I didn't know they even made this. You really do have to post daily, like to get your. When I was posting skating content every day, and it wasn't just at the same time, it was every day. It was the same time every day. Like my engagement was so much higher at that time with lower follower count at the time. So as that grew, but because of work, I started posting less, just way less engagement because people are just saying, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
So,
My story will get 1,000 views ish on average, and I'm at like 13,000 followers on Instagram. When I had my other Instagram account before they just wiped it for no reason, I was like 60,000, but still my stories would get like 1,000, 1,500 views. So it's just like, well, you know, if you're putting them in only that many people's feeds and stuff, what's the point of feeding the algorithm? And this was when I was regularly posting and stuff.
Yeah. All right, so we got something to show you guys here first. So there is a movie coming out on a platform called Movies Plus. It's called Dust, and we were reached out to by a producer named Dave Lugo. And this trailer's it's very interesting. It's starring Sneeko.
Sneeko has made his acting debut, and I thought that was a little bit absurd, but prove me wrong. Maybe Sneeko is going to be one of the biggest actors of the 2020s or 2030s.
So Dave Lugo, he produced Hoax. From Cernovich, right? And he also produced the Antifa film that Jack Posobiec made. And it's for a production company that seems to be doing really, really good work.
But this is not a documentary.
No,
it's a short film.
It's a short film. And it's available on a platform called Movies Plus. And I thought we'd watch the trailer.
Yeah.
Because for once we'll have one that we won't get a copyright strike on, which will be nice, or a copyright claim on, which we always do get. But I wanted to play this for everybody to see here, and then I will include the link for the movie on the trailer. If you guys liked when we talked about Paul Bois' movie here, Exemplum, like this is in the same vein. So let's go ahead and watch this real quick.
Looks like you're in a pretty tough spot right now. It seems like you're located in Atlantic City, right? How do you know my name?
Brain is and will be the 21st century battlescape.
It takes a very high IQ to understand the depths and intricacies of nanotech, as we know.
That stuff is unlike anything that you've ever seen.
I know what I'm doing.
Nanotech? You mean technology that deals with dimensions and tolerances of less than 100 nanometers?
Nope. You have no idea.
Megacorps think they can keep a lid on it, but something this powerful can't be contained. This is serious espionage. I feel it moving in me.
Dystopian techno-capitalism sci-fi.
The first thing I thought of is I got into a long discussion with someone the other night about how every movie in Hollywood now is the same color palette. They're all blue and yellow. So seeing something that goes away, because like one of the reasons, I don't know if anybody here saw the new Matrix movie when it came out. It's really bad. But the point is the whole point of that original Matrix movie is it had that great green tinge to it that was really, really iconic, and they abandoned that for the new film, or for the new, like the standard Hollywood blue and yellow color palette.
Did?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not good. It's not something that I have no idea. But so it says, in a not so distant future, Dust establishes a dark world run by mega corporations focused on ushering in an era of evil through the use of nanotechnology. Antoine, a cyberpunk analyst, has been hired to find a new designer drug which is programmed with occult powers. So I'm getting Alex Jones vibes too. And it's a 20-minute short film. It's available on this platform, Movies Plus, which will be handling the distribution for Sound of Freedom.
I mean, to be honest with you, it doesn't look. I mean, it looks like it's worth watching. Like if you've got nothing to do.
Yeah, 20 minutes worth of time. That's what I'm saying. Like, but it's the same platform that does that's going to be distributing Sound of Freedom when it goes to pay VOD.
So that's cool that they're going an alternative route for for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a story we didn't cover because it kind of tied into everything else that basically said that they pitched it to even after the movie was made, Netflix didn't want it, Amazon Prime didn't want it, none of these platforms wanted it.
Netflix is like, give us Cuties, don't give us Sound of Freedom.
Yeah,
we'll pass on Sound of Freedom. Yeah. Give us more Cuties.
So it's like if you're looking for films that are going to, at the very least, be produced by people with values similar to yours now, you're not going to be able to go to these standard platforms because they're going to push away and get rid of anything that they find to be like abhorrent, which according to them is not Cuties.
Yeah. I don't remember where this was streaming. I thought it was Netflix. I'm not sure. But The Pod Generation was another movie I was planning on watching. It came out last week.
Yeah.
Has Emilia Clarke in it. And it's just a sci-fi, one of these like not in the not so distant future stories where like everyone has their babies in artificial wombs in the future. And it looked like there was this plot line where she gets too attached to her baby while it's in the artificial womb, and her company is like trying to penalize her for it.
That's so prescient for the times.
I'm gonna watch that soon and let you guys know if it's good.
That's like right on par for like what's being done today, right? Like the Kardashians could make that movie. We all know it. They absolutely could. So I find it interesting for no other reason than Sneeko is acting, and I didn't know
does he
Sneeko
have
was an
other
actor.
plans?
Now is there going to be an Aiden Ross cameo in the movie? That's what I really want to know. Will there be an Aiden Ross cameo, and will Gideon show up anywhere?
Yeah, well, since the strikes are in full force, maybe we'll see more streamers in movies.
Could be. Like it's so funny. I've been watching.
Well, actually, now that you mention it, before I was kind of like neither here nor there about it. But if you're presenting the idea of streamers crossing the picket line, then I'm backing the streamers. Then
everyone is. Everyone is
100%.
And SAG is pathetically like, you'll never get membership in SAG if you do this, and we're like,
and these rich streamers who make all this money streaming are like oh darn.
Ooh, I'm so scared.
What will I do? And speaking of crossing the picket line, Selena Gomez actually got in trouble because she accidentally posted about something that she was in.
I mean, it probably was not even Selena Gomez that posted it. It was the person who manages Selena Gomez's Instagram, which she's already admitted that she doesn't personally manage her social media accounts.
Probably the smartest thing for your mental health if you're a celebrity.
They all have Finstas.
Yeah.
True.
So it says she said missing and wanting about her show Only Murders in the Building, and it got 1.1 million likes in 15 hours. Must be nice. And then had to be pulled down because you cannot promote anything at all. A lot of people that I've seen, like actors, have either like archived all their posts or deleted them and just have like something that says on strike up right now.
Or Rachel Zegler's black profile picture.
Yes.
Her blacked out profile pic and header on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people really like Only Murders in the Building. I haven't watched it, but I heard good things about it. Selena Gomez and Steve Martin being in the same project is kind of weird.
That is very, very strange. I mean, Steve Martin feels like he hasn't, he's the same guy he was 25 years ago, though.
Yeah. I think Selena just sees it like, I have my own brand.
Yeah.
I'm a singer, and I'm set for life. I don't need membership in SAG.
You think she's set for life?
What?
She's set for life, you think? I don't know how well she's done.
Yeah, like her brand is a pretty big deal. I have no idea why, because I've never bought any of it. But
I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you're in that position, you've got like 5 million set aside at her age. If she's got it set aside, she doesn't have to worry about anything.
I'm sure she has way more than that.
Yes, exactly. But the thing is, to be set for life, you get like $5 to $10 million. You sit on that, you'll make enough annually to pay your bills and not live extravagantly, but to pay your bills and never have to work, never have to worry about anything like that.
Yeah. So then you get complacent and you make posts like this, and everybody gets mad at you. And there's nobody more willing to
The intern got fired.
Nobody's more willing to get mad at you right now than the people who the same type of person who yells at you for not liking Taylor Swift is the same type of person who yells at you for not following strike guidelines.
Yeah.
They're not even mad at Selena Gomez. They're mad at her social media intern that posted that.
Yeah, but she's the one who gets in trouble for it because she's the face of the brand.
Yeah,
so she has to deal with it. So she's in trouble, and now all these actors. I remember just like last week, somebody finally posted. I guess Stephen Amell went to a strike, and he just looks so dejected.
Looks like he doesn't want to be there.
He's like holding something. He's
like you're not smiling enough.
Yeah, like you're not just gonna strike. You have to strike this way.
Have you noticed how like the topics we cover are getting taken over by musicians, social media influencers, and just like peripheral people in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Just because of the strike, and I didn't realize that would happen.
What
so
they need
abruptly.
to do is make like a reality show about the social media managers of celebrities.
I mean,
it would reveal too much.
Isn't it? I mean, a little more. I mean, maybe it isn't a surprise, and it shouldn't be a surprise. But I mean, these are the new celebrities, you know, or these are the people that people pay attention to. Ever since probably The Real World back in the 90s, celebrity is.
Road Rules too, same time.
Yeah. But since then, celebrity is not only to the rich and famous, or rich people and like highly sought after. I mean, Bad Bobby's famous, and she's also rich, but she's
and spoke at Oxford. Why is our culture
leveling the playing field means pulling everyone down?
Yeah,
that is clear and obvious.
The conservatives would stop being so stuffy and old and grumpy, talking about how the culture is degrading if they didn't give us so much ammunition and evidence for it. You know?
Yep.
Bad Baby at Oxford.
Jesus.
Mia Khalifa at Oxford.
And Mia Khalifa at Oxford. Which that wasn't as annoying as the dating speech that she get. Like her at Oxford, she's a successful businesswoman, so I guess that kind of makes sense. Her giving dating advice is
what
is
business
very, very
though?
Yeah. What do you mean by business?
What business? Getting naked? That's the business.
She's a brand. She's a brand, I mean, just the way any of those other people.
If she's she's smart enough to make the content that appeals to her audience. Otherwise, and all that she does beyond that is like have money thrown at her. It's not like that's not smart business.
She
people.
tried to pivot to like sports commentary after
briefly. Yeah. Then she was like, I'm gonna go on OnlyFans.
Yeah,
too much money to be made too quickly.
So maybe ambitious is probably the word that I would use, not so much with having a good
opportunist.
business sense.
I wonder what her net worth is. Be interesting.
Mia Khalifa. If you look it up, then you're not going to get a correct answer.
Oh wait a minute! I thought you were talking about Bad Bobby, not Mia Khalifa.
Bad Baby's probably richer than Mia Khalifa.
Yeah,
by a lot.
Yeah.
She seems like a smarter businesswoman.
Yes. Oh, no, absolutely. So, also, guys, if you remember, was it Cardi B last week 2 weeks ago that threw a microphone at somebody? Well, now 50 Cent has got
50 Cent's PR manager told him to throw a microphone at someone in the audience because it worked out for Cardi B.
It is. That's exactly what happened, right?
You'll get in the headlines if you do this.
And this lady got absolutely, I love the language that they use in the original. It says that she got bodied. She absolutely got bodied by this microphone. So there's hopefully going to be a big lawsuit coming, and this lady will get a nice paycheck out of it.
Totally unprovoked?
So it says sources
it was just like random?
He wasn't targeting the woman, but still he beamed her good. A source connected to 50.
Did he just think like whoever gets hit with this gets hit and it's whatever?
He was so watching the video, it looks like he was having mic issues.
Yeah, like the mic was cutting.
PO'd about the mic.
Wait, play the video.
And instead of throwing it,
she looks like she's covered in blood.
Yep.
She probably got smashed in the face with it.
Jeez.
Those mics are heavy.
Yeah. I mean, I've been hit in the face with a mic myself. I mean, obviously. My teeth are effed up because of it.
You just threw it away like it's like a piece of trash.
Yeah.
Not good, man.
Yeah,
that lady got hurt.
Acting like a toddler brat on stage.
Well, but there's probably some not anxiety, but you need things to go perfectly. Doesn't Beyonce have a thing for like yelling at people when things don't go well on stage?
She has a thing for looking menacing.
Looking mad.
It's the most unprofessional thing in the world to me.
To show.
Like I don't care what level you're doing. Like, to make it obvious and apparent to the people that paid to get into the venue or to see the show that you're unhappy with someone and that someone's messing it up. You're like, that is you misbehaving. Put on the show, focus on the show, get through the stuff. You should be professional enough to get through it, with the things not sounding the way you want, having a messed up monitor and stuff. You should be able to get through it. That is.
Are there techniques that you guys have for like pushing through it for different things that go wrong?
Everything is depending on what goes on. I mean, it could be any number of things. Like if you're having audio issues, it could be an issue with the mix. It could be an issue with interference. You're not hearing anything. It could be a slew of things. It could be all kinds of things. So you don't know, but to let the audience know that you're having that problem is massively, massively unprofessional.
And in a way takes them out of the performance, right?
Yeah,
because now
you're ripping them off. You're stealing from them.
I think
for
Beyonce, she just is like so done. Like this is the last tour she's gonna do,
really?
Maybe ever.
Everybody likes Taylor Swift more anyways.
And Taylor Swift has taken her spot, and she's mad about it. But she has this thing where she does like a mute challenge in the middle of one of her songs. Like she just goes like this, and like the crowd is supposed to be quiet, and it's like a thing, and then the song restarts, but they never stop screaming. So she just looks at them like,
Beyonce, you mean?
I like the idea that she does it on purpose and knows she's gonna get mad, but does it anyways.
Yeah.
She's like, it's just once she's hoping to like be surprised, and they actually stay quiet, and they never do. But like just once she's hoping for somebody to. She's like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
I just saw a video of Taylor Swift powering through because her earpiece wasn't working or something.
Yeah,
and
it happens all the time.
Sang through it. She's just better than Beyonce. Sorry.
And like who was like Andrew Schultz said, like he's like, she's the best of.
Yeah, I saw that video. Everyone was so mad about that. They were calling him racist because he likes Taylor Swift more than Beyonce.
So dorky. God. All right, let's like we're going to be talking more about Taylor in a little bit, so let's hold off on the rest of that. So, Oprah, who many believe burned down half of Hawaii. No, she didn't burn down half of Hawaii.
Not personally.
So
allegedly
she burned down part of Maui, but we all know that is not true. But apparently, her and The Rock have come together to donate $10 million for Maui relief.
Awesome.
Which is, I'll take that over. Think about this. Just yesterday, we covered about how all 5 of the unfunniest people in the world are starting a podcast together and threatening to make us listen to it.
Threatening to make us listen to it.
And they're going to use the profit. I don't know how they're going to profit from it, but they're using the profits from it to pay the people who are on strike. And a lot of people were like, look, you could have just donated. They're not going to make that much money. They succeed because they have the machine behind them. They have the big machine, the media apparatus to help them get somewhere. If you're going to go and make a podcast on your own, and this isn't being promoted by these companies that you're now striking from, you're in for a kind of a rude awakening. It's like when you watch people who write for a living try to do YouTube, or they move to other platforms, and you realize that it's not easy to move to another platform that you're not familiar with. And I don't know if they're going to be able to successfully transfer from late night television with all the pomp, all the circumstance, to a Zoom call where they have to be funny on the spot all the time.
No, and they started the show so it would look good for them.
Exactly.
That's literally the only reason.
And it's inorganic, right? It's inorganic, and nobody's
are we supposed to believe that these people are friends? No. It's like with almost any celebrity friendship. I know some of them are genuine. But a lot of them are just...
They're all fake.
It's planned by their managers. They do an outing together, and it's a viral moment. They both benefit from it.
The only time I'm willing to suspend my disbelief was whenever the Lonely Island would have on people that I was willing to... Like T-Pain being on there. I like the idea of them and T-Pain being friends off camera. That's funnier to me. Also, because T-Pain rules. And by the way, he has like a full album of covers out right now that just absolutely slaps.
I forgot to listen to it's a Thug Story. I forgot to listen to
you got to listen to the Taylor Swift and T-Pain song.
That's
that was apparently the biggest
manufactured.
It was apparently like the biggest mistake in history. Both of them hated the experience. So, yeah.
Something beautiful came out of it.
But it says Johnson and Winfrey announced their initiative Thursday morning, saying that they were brainstorming a bit on how they could offer assistance. They decided to kickstart the People's Fund of Maui. Well, The Rock did just get the biggest movie contract in film history, like single pay contract, not like
what
residual.
Was it, 50?
It's like $55 million just for one movie.
Wow.
He should have given away the whole paycheck.
Yes, he should have just given it all away. Otherwise, he's a bigot and a capitalist. So it's good.
The Rock, I don't think he's evil. Oprah, I definitely think she's evil.
You think Oprah's evil?
Yeah.
I don't know about The Rock. Because The Rock was so good when he was a bad guy in wrestling that
I think he has a big ego, but how would you not? You're The Rock.
it's depressing to see him not be able to insult people the way he used to insult people when he was a wrestler.
Wrestling in the 90s was the best.
It was absolutely incredible.
He's been tamed.
But also, I was thinking about like John Cena just came back to WWE, and I was like, well, it's because all of them are on strike now; they can't act. So they can just like, oh, I've got some time in my schedule; I can go work.
Actually, yeah, that's probably a thing, right?
Yeah, like maybe The Rock could go back and wrestle one more match against Roman Reigns. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, so they're gonna donate money to help, and you know who else is looking to help?
Who?
Tiffany Gomez, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh.
She posted a photo. It says, "Our aloha never dies. I am so proud to support Maui Strong through branding Aloha t-shirt fundraiser." Go off.
She's
queen.
already here with the brand deals.
She's a marketing person, right? That's her deal,
Yeah.
right? I mean, everyone knew as soon as she was like had that one thing that came out, that one video, she was like, all right, she's gonna go ahead and capitalize on this.
Well, that's what we love about her. We want her to capitalize, and we want her to succeed, because eventually one day she'll make enough money that she can break free from her shackles
and actually tell us what she saw.
Exactly.
Yes.
What she one day will be able to free herself from her CIA handlers that have clearly taken over her image. That's why she's not answering my emails. I have to admit, I have to assume that it's because of the CIA. Otherwise, why wouldn't she get back to me right away? Right?
I'm sure she wants to.
There's a $20 one there from Granticus.
It said, Phil, I love the music that you guys created/played. Are you guys planning on going on tour anytime soon? If so, can you stop at Cincinnati, Ohio? Also, I hope you guys have a wonderful day today.
Cheers, man. We will be going on tour sometime next year. I don't know when. We don't have any dates yet. And we would love to play in Cincinnati. Where do we play in Cincy? I'm trying to think of I think Cincy might have a House of Blues.
Oh, so you likely ended up in so that Midwest tour there. Who else is from? Are there big acts from Cincinnati? Like from that part of the?
Not that I can think of. No.
It's like I almost said Cleveland, but
Cleveland is where the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is now, that's where the Hall of Fame is, and so Cleveland's are cool shows and stuff, but yes, we definitely play Ohio. Ohio, people forget that Ohio is the 5th most populated state in the country. It's big. There's a lot of people. We go there a lot because there's a whole bunch of y'all. So we want to play for you guys. So we love you. Cheers.
And remember, Tiffany, I have sent you 2 emails. I'm gonna need you to respond eventually. Like, I can only wait for so long. The bated breath.
Disguise it as a brand deal, sponsorship deal, and subject line.
That's probably a good idea.
I didn't even put I need to know what you saw in the email. I said, look, we'd love to talk to you. We'd love to have you on the show.
Does confidential in the subject line help? Does that make people be like, ooh, maybe it's important, I should open it?
Important information enclosed, top secret.
Yeah.
Yes, that's.
Or does that only work on regular mail?
It apparently only works on regular mail. But you know what, Tiffany? We support you. I reposted this yesterday, and somebody's like, it's a psyop. I'm like, it's my favorite psyop. It's out of all the psyops going right now, this is my favorite. The only way this could end up being better, somebody said, what if we found out later that Alex Jones was her long-lost dad?
Oh.
That would be the greatest thing ever.
Be great.
It'd be the greatest thing ever. So
I don't know if he would have been old enough to be her father.
How old is Alex Jones?
He's probably 55, I think. Let's find out.
I don't know. I thought he was under 50.
Chat, how old is Alex Jones? Somebody in the chat's got to know.
He just has such a youthful spirit that I would have guessed under.
49. Wow.
Okay, so he's under 50.
Wow,
yeah,
he's I'm surprised.
And she's 38, right? So that doesn't really add up.
No, not unless something really, really bad happened when.
And it did not. It did not.
Alex Jones needs to cut out the booze and go to the gym. At his age, he looks like crap.
Even just
tweet at him and tell him.
But
that.
No,
honestly, maybe not even the gym, but just cutting out the booze.
Like
Post Malone basically said that he just cut out soda and he lost 55 pounds.
I just saw he was just
all men, by the way.
Yes.
Literally all men are like, I breathed and I lost 20 pounds last week.
Oh, you want to know how much weight I've lost in the past month?
Let's see. What is it?
I've lost like 10 pounds in the past month.
Good for you, Phil.
Dieting and an hour and a half of cardio every day, though.
Is that? Are you?
I'll show you my circles that are closed on my app.
Do you do before and after, or do you weight lift as well, or are you just doing cardio and stuff right now?
Cardio and lift.
Lifting?
There are a lot of ways that women don't understand men and like what motivates them and stuff. But I think what men don't understand about women is that we constantly want to eat fat and sugar in massive quantities.
So do I.
All the time. Irresistibly, insatiably, like all the time, because like your lizard brain is like, prepare for pregnancy all the time.
Make baby, make baby,
So,
feed baby.
It's just, it's not equal, you know?
Well, I want to eat
not
fat
as easy
and sugar
for us out here.
all the time, and I can't have kids, so I don't know what to say.
No, your body, it's preparing for pregnancy.
Is that what it's doing? Damn it! I should have known. I didn't know.
You know, now that we're talking about this, about calorie intake and stuff, there's a significant possibility that I'm going to stop at Baskin Robbins on the way home and get a chocolate shake.
Don't you hate it when that happens? You just talk yourself into it.
You know, especially a like 1,500 calorie Baskin Robbins chocolate shake.
I told the story recently, and I did it again, where like I went out at midnight and I went and got a Reese's peanut butter cup.
That's great.
You did it again?
I did it again, and again I got home and didn't eat it, and saved it, and ate one on one day and one 3 days later, and saved it. So it's like that's my version of like
He is moderation.
That's like I am, you know, self-control guy. Look at me with my big
I can't
brain and discipline.
No, but I still drink soda, so that's my vice. I don't cut that out.
Everyone has some vice.
So it's
you know how you go to bed at like 4 a.m. and 5 a.m., sometimes 6 a.m.? You should start posting your alarm clock, and you'll be like, wake up, grind set. And then you go to sleep.
Yeah.
Make everyone think that that's when you get up to work out.
Time to grind, and then you go to bed.
It's the video that I sent you, the one of Chet Hanks and Trevor Wallace, where he's like, rise and grind and rise. He's like, my dick must be an alarm clock, because at 5 a.m. it's up. Like that stuff's great. But yeah, no, but the 6 a.m. thing doesn't happen to me very much. Like that was just the other day.
Oh, okay.
But like 3:30 or 4 most days I fall asleep.
Totally normal. Yeah.
That's I get up
Totally
at 9
behavior.
though. Like I still get like 6 hours of sleep.
6 hours is not enough.
6 hours is enough. You're good. If I sleep 8 hours, I'm tired. No?
Well,
You
technically,
guys?
you're supposed to get 7.5.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
What do you get at night, Phil?
Usually about 6, and I nap during the day usually.
Yeah. Oh, see, I can't like now what it is. It's like when 11 p.m. comes around, I'm like taping my eyes open. I'm like, don't fall asleep. Because if I fall asleep at 11 p.m., I'm waking up at 2 in the morning.
If you wake up at 2 in the morning,
bed.
just punch yourself in the head and go back to sleep.
I'll work on that, Mary. There's a $20 one there from Castaway.
I'm not seeing this one.
Got it?
It's there.
Right there?
I don't see it on the...
Well, I'll read it then. He says, can confirm just ate Nutty Bars, gummies, chips, and ice cream sandwiches yesterday for the hurricane day off. I'm barely 100 pounds.
Oh, well, I hope you're female.
Yeah.
Look, Disco Jensen, don't start. That is a bad idea. Don't start asking people what breed they are. People will start calling you racist.
For some reason, things go wrong when you use that statement.
Don't start measuring their skulls and stuff like that. Like, it's a bad path to go down.
Yeah.
Trust
Good
me,
Lord.
I learned from experience.
Mark Daga says, Brett, that's when you lift. Actually, what it was is like a lot of times if I'm still up at that time, I will go skate for like an hour. Like I very rarely use the skate park here anymore. I just tend to go out street skating.
Too good for the home skate park.
No, I just used it every day for 2 years, so now it's just boring. But the point is like I'll go and just get an hour of exercise in, and then by the time I'm done, shower, then it's closer to the time I go to bed. So. All right, guys. Also, did you like The Flash? Because I think we might have been the only ones who saw The Flash. Do you remember when Brie Larson got made fun of for not having as big of an ass as Tom Holland? Well, DC found a way to solve this problem with Ezra Miller by just CGIing it.
Yeah.
They gave him a CGI butt.
They actually did CGI Ezra Miller's ass in The Flash. One Twitter account claims.
Me and Phil over here working out, trying to get gains, and they're over here just filling it in with code. It's bullshit.
Yeah, he's looking at like an Instagram thought in this one.
If you look at the picture, it is notable that like if you look at the picture,
that's not just angles.
The real one is like there's sagginess in the actual pants.
Yeah.
On the top one, and then the bottom one, it's smoothed out as if it's tight around his whole. Yeah, that's some CGI badonk.
It's not fair. Like it's like if you're gonna do it, get a real BBL, or I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, do the work.
Like,
Put in the work.
Like this.
Really commit to it.
What, actually, no. Here's the thing. What is the price of like? We need somebody
Of a
on
BBL?
here. Where's Kanye to ask this question? Like, what's the price of a BBL?
Oh, he's certainly paid for many a BBL.
What is the price for a BBL?
What if I had to guess? If you go to Turkey, it's less.
Okay.
If you do it in the U.S.,
I bet you the money that they spent doing this in post-production cost as much as a BBL cost for a person.
So they should have just
They
funded
could have
his
just
BBL.
written that shit off. They could have just written it off. It would have been
But
fine.
he didn't want to end up like Black China.
Have it removed with the fillers and all that stuff. She actually posted a video recently. She's also in the gym a ton lately and in very good health.
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
saw that.
Yeah. So
It's kind of crazy how fast that happened too.
Yep. So like also does it seem weird to you guys like when you watch movies now and you like see the fact that everything's fake except for the guardrail?
It is weird.
Like how much of what you see is fake now. Like I still remember when somebody showed me this video, like in the scene from Batman vs Superman where Bruce Wayne is running into the cloud of debris and smoke to save the kid. They're not even on a street. It's just it's all done in
All
post
green,
production. And it's just like, imagine having to be an actor and just being like, oh, you're going to fix my ass, right? Okay, good. Okay, which way is the sun? And then they have to ask them to point which way they're doing. It's actually probably a lot harder than to act in real life. Like,
And it's totally unnecessary too.
Yep. There is a $20 one there from Cleggy.
It says, special shout out to the chat. Who's Julia Fox? R.I.P. Magic Johnson. Bad up, I'm not reading that. Happy Friday, Brett.
This is
Just all the psyops.
This is a stupid question. Is Magic Johnson still alive?
Yes.
Yes,
I think
right?
that's the joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, they do the RIP to many people in the chat on IRL.
Yeah, they'll do it to everybody.
Like
It's a cesspool, God.
But for this movie, it made like 1.2. Do we have the numbers here? So it had 1.1 million viewers on HBO Max, the second lowest, only
In the
to
first
Shazam.
3 days
Yeah.
when it was on streaming.
Yeah.
Shazam, is at the very bottom, 260K.
What's also funny about it is I was reading an article before the show today. Between The Flash, Black Adam, and Shazam, they lost over $450 million between those movies. Yeah. The combined profit, like just back of a napkin numbers that I came up with, was like $787 million is what they made, like between those three projects. The budgets for all three movies came up to over like just way more. Just because the number you have there has to be split between the theaters, right? So they made it cost $787 million to make, and they made about $399 million after splitting it with the theaters.
If Wonder Woman 1984 was so bad, why is it at the top of the list?
Came out
in
during
popularity?
COVID, and it was
There's not many options.
There was no other. The other ones there were
also, whose genius idea was it for them to call the second Suicide Squad movie the Suicide Squad?
Yes, that was very, very stupid. It didn't end up mattering because the reason why Wonder Woman has higher numbers is because it was a HBO Max only release, I believe, and the other ones, the Suicide Squad was HBO Max and theaters.
Yeah, that makes it.
And it didn't make any money. And it didn't make any money, so it's all a mess right now. So, all right. Oh, also, there's this amazing story, guys. Apparently, Metallica now holds a single show attendance record at Los Angeles' SoFi Stadium. Phil, can you confirm this?
That show was a large show. Yeah. It was extremely big. I happened to be there.
That's funny because I have a video of it
just
right
standing
here.
in the back and nosebleeds.
I have a video of it right here. What was that like?
Someone in the chat, Phil performed there. aware.
It was crazy.
Yes, we're aware.
This is kind of funny. Like the chat might be interested in this. When last Thursday when I was here, I got the text message from Zoltan while we were doing PCC, and I was like, at first I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to do anything because I had to go and do IRL that night, and I have my dog, and I was like, I don't know if I can work this out, but I managed to work it out thanks to you because you covered for me on Friday, which I appreciate. It came in while I was here, and then it was just like, hey, can you do it? So I had to drive my dog from here to New England to drop her off so I could have someone watch her. Jumped on a plane, flew to LA. That was on Friday. Saturday, I linked up with the guys in the evening for some discussing about how it was going to go down. There was no actual rehearsal.
I was going to ask, like, did you have time to rehearse or practice?
No, I mean, I know a lot of their set because I've done shows with Five Finger before. In 2016, they called me up and I went out with them for about 2 weeks because Ivan needed to go ahead and take some time off. So I know a lot of their songs. I know how the melodies go. I know a lot of the parts and stuff. And also on this tour, they have 2 backup singers. So they know all the lyrics and they know how the stuff goes. So if I forget something, I can go over to them and they were helping to cover and stuff. So it was a fairly and this is going to sound kind of funny considering what it was, but it was a fairly low stress situation because I've done this before, gone in on no warning and played big shows. Like I did it first for Killswitch Engage in 2010. They called me up and I had to play a show the very next day, fly in and play. And then same thing with these guys. So this is not something that I'm unfamiliar with. Not every day that you play right before Metallica.
Yeah.
So this beat out Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it was a bigger show than the Taylor Swift show.
Take that, Swifties. That's what they get.
And the funny thing is, I'm kind of a Swiftie too. I like Taylor Swift. So, but it's nice to be like, yeah, I was a small part of a show that actually beat out a Taylor Swift for an attendance record. So.
I do like the idea that like you meet Taylor Swift, you're like, yeah, you're pretty good. Like
you're okay.
You're all right. Like
you're good.
Like you're gonna. Yeah, it's like you're gonna get there one day. Like it's.
I believe in you.
I believe in you. It's gonna be great. What was how long was the show? Like how long was your set? An hour set?
Yeah, it was a full set, and some of my friends were there. This guy by the name of Howard Jones. He used to sing for a band called Killswitch Engage. He's in a band called Light the Torch now. He does a band called Scion now, and he might be in another band. I think he was in. I'm not sure, but he might be in a third band as well currently. But I've known him. He's from Connecticut, and I've known him for years and years since we were kids, since like the 90s. And I hadn't seen him. Like I didn't realize it, but I actually flew in to fill in for Killswitch Engage, and Howard was the singer that I was filling in for back in 2010. And I hadn't seen Howard since before that tour, and we still roll in the same groups. We still talk about each other and to each other's friends and stuff. And I'm constantly telling like Jamie Jost, I'll be like, hey, if you talk to Howard, tell him I said hi. Or I'll talk to Jost and be like, yo, Howard says what's up, or my manager. And there's a small community, but I didn't realize it, but I literally hadn't seen Howard in over a decade. So it was super cool. And he mentioned, I was like, Jesus, dude, you're right. It's been so long. So it was cool to see him, and AJ from Fire Earth and Sky was there. It was just a great night all around. So.
Are a lot of the guys in multiple bands?
Some people are. It depends on like how big the band is and how busy the band is.
Yeah.
Some stuff is just a side project for people. Some people, they've got their fingers in multiple pots. It all depends on the band and the individual. I mean, like the guys in Five Finger, they all are just in Five Finger Death Punch, but like Zoltan and Ivan have business things that they do outside of this. Andy James their guitar player. He has a solo career, and he makes solo records that are really guitar, like technical progressive guitar stuff. So they all have their own kind of thing. And even if you're in a band that's a full-time band, it does offer a lot of spare time if unless you're like the manager of the band, so you can do multiple things.
Oddly enough, I used to like Noel Gallagher's solo stuff more than Oasis.
Yeah,
like,
I mean that stuff happens.
It was more like he would do like these weird like conceptual electronic stuff that I liked more than I actually liked the band themselves. Like because like nobody likes Wonderwall, nobody likes Champagne Supernova. But yeah, like that was just crazy because and then I saw somebody posted you reposted it because somebody was like, this is so lame or something like this.
That dude's he's I don't know who he is.
Is he a reply guy?
He's like a little bit of a troll, but he's a little bit good natured too, because like when he said he said something like, I can't believe you're such a loser, and it's like that would the whole point of him saying that was to be a little over the top, because it's hard to be like, oh, the guy that's on stage right before Metallica's a loser, you know what I mean? It's kind of tough. So and he's kind of good natured, I think, but he still likes to give me shit. So. Well, yeah. And there's a lot of people like that. So.
That's what Twix is for. I'm really hell bent on just using Twix now because I'm sick of saying Twitter/X.
It's not really catching on, though.
I know, but I don't care if it catches on. I'll just say it for myself and leave it be.
Do you guys feel like Twitter has left? I feel like X has been added, but Twitter has not gone anywhere.
Twitter's fine. Like I don't like. First of all, if you link your Twitter, you can still use the twitter.com/ They kept all the.
Like, I'm looking at Twitter.com.
In the description, in the description box, we have everyone's listed as twitter.com/ whatever everyone's social media is. I'm like, I'm not going through and changing this to X until it actually stops redirecting to the website. I'm not doing that. But I
think Twitter is jumping the shark though.
No.
Because everything is just for engagement now.
Well, yeah, ever since they've introduced monetization.
You just repost somebody's TikTok and you're like,
look at this
thoughts?
Idiot.
Question mark? Or what would you do in this situation?
I was talking to someone yesterday who was like, they were basically saying like everybody posts a certain amount of content for engagement. I'm like, no, they don't.
Do they?
That's not necessarily true. I was like, because he's saying that basically every person that's monetized does. I was like,
I don't
how can
post
you take
things on
serious?
Purpose that I think will get no engagement. I guess.
Yeah, and because there are times, so you might say that I do that because there are times when I'll post timeline cleansers, just something that's inoffensive that everybody kind of would be like, oh, that's cool and dig. But also there are times when I'll post stuff that's super polarizing but harmless.
Yeah.
There was one that I did just the other day that surprised me at how many replies it got.
It's always weird that you can never predict which are the ones that are going to end up getting the most engagement, right?
Yeah. So sometimes there are times when I'll post stuff for engagement, but I don't try to post things that are just brainlessly for engagement. It's not stuff that's off brand or just wacky crazy videos or whatever. Just trying to get people to engage like that. It's something that does relate to why people would follow me.
Why the hell would Sig Sauer post the 320 and what does that have to do with California?
That is awesome. Well, first of all, Sig Sauer, if that, I think what it means is that the gun has been approved by California, the AG, saying that you can purchase the Sig Sauer 320 in California, because California's gun laws are really restrictive, and there's a lot of guns that are on lists of you can't blah blah blah. So for Sig, if they're like, oh, this gun complies with all of California's regulations and it's hard to get SIGs, that's a big selling point.
What would be the reason that it would be banned, that one in particular?
If you don't have an external safety, they can say that. If you don't have
Glocks?
Maybe. I know that they're for new sales, and it depends on the state, because they're all different. But in Massachusetts, I don't think you can buy a new Glock because it doesn't have an actual external safety. You can carry one.
Yeah.
Right. If you
but
buy,
you just can't purchase
a new one.
It's the same thing that they're doing with cars.
If it's a police used one, right? So police stations or police officers, when they get new, they'll get budgets and they'll sell their old Glocks or whatever. They'll sell them to gun stores, and the gun store will be like, okay, well, we got these 30 Glocks in from the police station. It was a small police station or whatever. They can be sold because they're not sold to private customers from Glock, because the cops sold them to the gun store. The gun store can sell them as used guns, but as new guns you can't sell them. And it's those kind of laws.
Is it 10-round mags?
10-round magazines in some states, yeah. So and these things are all crazy and different throughout the country. When you get to the restrictive states, there's really only about 7 or 8 really restrictive states, right? Or so, maybe 9. And the gun laws are crazy and difficult and blah, blah, blah. Most of the rest of the country, the gun laws are fairly chill. Yeah. So, anyways.
All right. What would you like to see first? Cute or cringe of the day?
Phil, you decide.
I want to see cringe.
Okay, we'll do cringe first. Mary found this one because Mary,
It's related to Taylor Swift.
It is related to Taylor Swift. Here we go. Let's watch it.
Nos tocó vivir algo bonito.
Now look, you had me in the first half, but watch.
Over it.
No, immediately no. Immediately no.
I didn't watch the whole thing earlier. I didn't know the twist was coming. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's weird propaganda.
Okay, first thing is proposing at a Taylor Swift concert during Love Story is a little bit high school. But
Which
that's
is
fine.
Very on brand for Swifties.
Maybe they're
fair.
super fans of Taylor Swift and that would just be her dream proposal. Fine. But you had me in the first half. After she pulled out the ring, I was like, nope.
It's like I didn't even see that part.
He's selling his off at a pawn shop.
Yeah, dude.
Nope.
It's weird propaganda. Like there was a couple years ago in like 2018 where like 3 shows that I was watching had characters where female characters would propose to the male.
It's so and that's supposed to be like romantic and idyllic.
Because originally
what?
I didn't know that this happened, the second part, and I was just gonna be like, Mary, you need some love. in your heart.
you were gonna try to lecture me about you just don't like love when people are happy, do
You're just
you?
a little bit of a hate monger.
This is cringe. This is cringe.
Yes, it is.
And I'm right, and you're wrong.
No, I said you were right. I didn't say.
Okay, I went a little too far, but yeah.
It's a weird type of propaganda. It's also it's funny. One of those shows, and I don't remember what it was, where one of the guy characters, he's proposed to her 3 times, and every time she basically says I'm not ready yet, and it's you can tell by the third proposal a guy's just going to be like, bro, are you ever going to be ready? And then finally she proposes to him. At least let the guy finish what he started.
I love those videos where there's a husband and wife, and the husband pretends to propose to his wife at random crowded places to get people to make a scene.
Yes.
Because it's embarrassing for her. It probably annoys her, but it's funny.
And then the one that I saw the other day, it's a guy runs onto a soccer pitch and pretends to trip and fall and get hurt. He's a spectator. And I guess what it was is his girlfriend, his future wife, was a paramedic that worked for the stadium and has to come out on the pitch to help him with a bunch of other people, and then they help him up, and then he pulls out the ring and proposes to her, and she just looks angry.
Could you propose to a doctor by swallowing a ring and getting it surgically removed?
Yes. An ER doc for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Things have to be removed, and then they're like, surprise, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Gross. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do Cute of the Day. So here we go first. This is from Yamil on Twitter. It says, this is Princess Buttercup. Yes, I do like the Princess Bride. She has rescued me on February 22nd, 2016, only a day and a half after I lost my 15-year-old Sarah. This was an insulin-dependent diabetic for the last 5 years of her life. So Sarah was an insulin diabetic.
Aww.
Look at that cat. That is adorable.
I like the heart-shaped tag. That's cute.
That is very cute. All right, let's do one more here. This is from It Is I on Twitter. This is my cat Raul.
Raul.
It's Raul, right?
I guess.
Yeah. So. Raul. I named him after my favorite follower in Fallout New Vegas. Oh, yeah. It was born in my bathroom, and his mom was a stray we took in. He's 25 pounds, and the only human food he will eat is pizza for some reason.
What the heck?
Pizza's great.
Do cats have...
That's a very masculine cat.
Yes. Do cats have the same aversion? Are cats is chocolate as bad for cats as it is for dogs?
I don't know.
Probably.
Also, by
cats
the way,
really like cheese for some reason.
Bucko.
It's cheese.
Yeah.
Bucko has been getting upstairs, and I have no clue how. No clue.
He's agile. People don't give him enough credit. He can jump over the barrier.
And he can climb things.
So
his claws.
Yesterday,
he's clever.
What it was he was hungry.
That's how.
And so he just decides to come upstairs and bother me while I'm working. Meow, 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 meow. Nice. And I go up there, and he's just sitting there. And I'm just, and what he's doing is he's bathing in sunlight, because there's in the second floor here, there's the window there. He's living his best life, and I'm like, I got to get him out of here, because if he realizes he's stuck,
his good time,
he's gonna piss everywhere.
That's
which he's been known to do, and I'm not having that. Not on my watch.
Cats.
So, he's on his 8th of 9 lives, but he just decided to hop the barrier. No clue how he got up there, but I posted a picture of him yesterday and said loaf, and got 3 people who did. Have you ever seen Crocodile Dundee? That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Yes.
People are like, that's not a loaf. This is a loaf. So they were like cat challenging me on Instagram saying, this cat is not loafing.
Nice.
This is a truly loafing cat.
Look,
and I said,
Bucko
you're
is
wrong.
skinnier than he used to be. He can't loaf as hard as he used to.
Yeah.
He's skinnier than he used to be.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the day, he was a much plumper
Fatty,
cat.
huh?
He was a very
more
very fat
loafy.
cat. So, all right, guys. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? The writer's strike, the actor's strike are going strong in Hollywood right now. Yeah,
54 today.
54 minutes in.
54
Let's jump right
minutes
into
after
it.
the hour.
Yeah.
We're jumping right into it, ladies and gentlemen. So the actor strike and the writer strike are going strong in Hollywood right now. So what these studios and theaters have to do is find their own way around that by pumping out new content. Now, one of the things that I floated recently when Barbie came out and did as well as it did was that these theaters, these studios need to find a way to tap into the female audience because what they're doing isn't working. Just making movies about traditionally male characters that do traditionally male things and dropping a female in there isn't working. The women don't want to go watch that stuff. They want to watch masculine men do masculine guy stuff. So I said, what do you do to the contrary? How do we tap into the female market? And one of the things I said was like, just make a Taylor Swift movie. Starring Taylor Swift, about Taylor Swift. This isn't exactly that, but we're getting pretty close. What we're getting here is a movie about Taylor Swift's Eras tour. So it's a studio made, it's like a produced movie about the tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's still continuing this tour globally, but she finished North America recently. And starting October 13th, because 13 is her lucky number.
She loves.
You can see this in theaters.
Her middle name might as well be Easter egg. Like she loves Easter eggs.
It's corny.
She loves the lore. There's a $20 one there from Victor Von Derp.
Long ago, I proposed by unsealing a box of Cracker Jacks and placing the engagement ring inside the surprise packet, sealed it back, and when we sat down on a picnic, I tossed her the box and waited. Marriage is a mistake, by the way. Well, I mean, it was a successful proposal.
Had me in the first part.
Victor, did you actually get married though?
Yes, he did.
That's okay.
It's I'm guessing that this proposal was a success. So, well, I don't know what to do with that information, but
Enjoy it.
yeah.
So what you're
Thanks
saying
for
is
sharing.
it worked.
Yes, it worked. And she's also selling adult tickets for $19.89 because of her album.
She loves
and the kids'
lore.
tickets for $13.13.
She just loves the lore, man.
You know,
Any fan base needs lore
Yeah, it's awesome
to get
for-
into. I don't
yeah.
know what it is about the brain that like we just love that.
That's why the
shit
Lord of the
so
Rings
much.
fans are so upset with the way that Amazon has treated the property that they love, right? People
Even for
want
a lot
the
of
lore.
reasons, they were mad at some of the changes Peter Jackson made.
Yeah.
And his movies were great.
Clitorum in the chat says, Brett, watch the Taylor Swift episode of CSI. I have watched it. It's amazing. Everyone should go watch it. It's a fever dream that she was barely a musician by that point, and she just randomly ends up on an episode of CSI, of the original CSI back in the day.
What year?
2008.
Oh, she was definitely on the map by then.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but she's not who she is now. They gave her
also
dark hair.
Well, I mean,
she
but
had
no.
that documentary come out in 2020,
Yeah.
which was awful.
She was on the map, but she didn't really hit. Like
2008.
Red didn't come out until like 2012, and Red is like the one that really was, because she didn't get big until she started to cross over. She was a country artist, yes, but she wasn't like.
I mean, as her target audience, having been 12 when Red came out, every girl I knew liked Taylor Swift before Red. Like, she was a big deal.
Yeah, but the Andrew Schultzes of the world don't fall in love
Maybe
with
it's because
Taylor
I was
Swift
in
until
North
later.
Carolina and country music would be more popular there anyway.
Yeah.
But her documentary in 2020, Miss Americana, was awful, political bullshit.
Tripe.
Yes.
Yes.
And then she had a documentary before that too, but maybe it was a third party that released it, which I also watched.
But this is going to focus on just the
This is
tour.
just the tour for the people that couldn't afford the insane prices for her North American tour dates.
Yeah.
Like, you had to pay $500 minimum to not see the stage.
I love the idea of her as just the ultimate capitalist. She's like, just price him out.
She is.
Price him out. Do you want to see it? How badly
What
do you
we
want
were
to see it?
proposing is Taylor Swift actually in an acting role.
Yes.
Like starring
Yeah.
in a real theatrical release movie, which
About
could
Sailor
still be...
Tift. About a woman named Sailor Tift.
Is she in
who's
SAG? Is she in SAG
Oh, yeah.
after being
Oh,
in
yeah.
Amsterdam?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Imagine.
maybe she won't, but it would be a great idea. And all of the studios are thinking, let's make a Play-Doh movie after Barbie. Like, let's make a movie about a Play-Doh and Hot Wheels and Polly Pocket, because that's what women like, right?
Well, I mean, the studios are learning all the wrong lessons, right? They're not understanding that women want to see stuff that relates to them. Like, Polly Pocket doesn't exactly scream like it's going to have a story that's going to really resonate with you.
No.
You could have made the... Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys. I'm going to have a word with you, YouTube. What they did to us yesterday... At the end of the day, they still have to write a competent story. I didn't like Greta Gerwig's story for the Barbie movie, but if we rewound time and the movie hasn't come out yet, what would you imagine that a Barbie movie is actually going to be about, right? So they're still going to have to learn their lesson and write stories that appeal to women.
If they let Barbie and Ken end up together at the end, all would have been forgiven, to be honest. Also, Taylor Swift should have had a cameo in it, but too late.
I'm really surprised that they didn't, to
I
be
am
completely honest.
I am too.
Yeah.
I guess she just didn't have time. It's sort of like how she turned on the Super Bowl.
They also did what they did 80 for Brady this year, but they also did a theatrical release for like a BTS concert.
Yeah, that was
Last-
a big deal too for women.
But I'm saying, but right now this will be a bigger deal because there's less options out there. So people will go see this just because one, it's Taylor
This
Swift,
is going to beat out Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon,
which nobody's going to go see.
which is coming out, I believe, 1 week after the Eras Tour film. It's just art nerd trash. That's about how white people are evil.
They are evil. I've heard that.
That's literally all it is.
I've heard
So I am looking forward to Taylor Swift's documentary making more money than Martin Scorsese's film.
She's also going to have, like, you know what, another reason she's perfect for stuff like this is because her love of lore. So all her movies can just have constant Easter eggs. Like, ooh, look at the color of her scarf.
And
here. Look at that.
I hate Easter egg culture.
You do?
Like, it's very Reddit. It's very like people making Reddit threads about all the Easter eggs in this movie or that movie or whatever franchise, when you could just enjoy the film for what it is.
So glad that I'm not a Redditor.
Yes.
Like, even for a lot of A24 films, there are Easter egg forums talking about
Well,
it.
superhero,
It's like,
it's a big part of superhero movie culture too, because that's where they can. The idea is like they want to make the movie for normies. But
if you
then
want to sprinkle that in
it
on
worked-
top of a movie that's already good, that's fine. But the movie is trash.
it worked back in the day for Marvel because
It
they would
worked
include
very well.
whether it was the type of it would be a comic book accurate costume. There would be details in there that were nods to the fans, but were still the film was still accessible to people that didn't grow up reading the comics.
The whole Infinity War, the whole Easter eggs of stuff throughout that, with Thanos and stuff. The whole, like, at the end of, I forget which one it was, when he was like, "Fine, I'll do it myself" or whatever. That was huge.
Still, my favorite meme of all time is this one. It says like, the USSR tries to destroy America, fails. Japan tries to destroy America, fails. America, fine, I'll do it myself.
We got one from Daniel Che Corica. He said, "Happy Thursday. I sent the pet pictures to the Pop Culture Crisis Instagram account under Teggy Man because I don't have Twix. Phil for press secretary."
I'm glad you used Twix, my friend. That one works there. You know what? Go ahead if you can send them to my Instagram, because I don't run the social media for Pop Culture Crisis. But if you send them to my Instagram, I can do my best to try and.
Well, I'll look and I'll
include
send it to you. It's
There you
fine.
go. There you go.
A lot of Swifties, because they're sleuths, found out that this documentary was happening before the announcement was made at the beginning of this month. And they thought it was going to be called A Long Time Coming, and it was going to come out on Disney Plus.
No, but
because
it's possible, and then they made it a theatrical.
Her
release.
new releases, her re-recorded versions of all her songs, are technically owned by Disney at this point. So that would be the reason why it would go there. Maybe after it's in theaters, it's going to go on Disney Plus.
Likely it was going to go to Disney Plus originally.
But like, yeah, you're totally fighting the man by re-recording your songs so they can be owned by Disney.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But not just that, but that's getting in the Killers of the Flower Moon was supposed to just get a limited release, but now because they have less options and because of the strike, it's getting a wide release instead. Because the studios they're re-releasing a lot of their TV shows on network television now. Yellowstone is going to be shown on regular television rather than cable soon because they're like, look, we got nothing new for fall because we've been on strike for over 100 days. And they're running out of things to do.
They should try a hunger strike. They'll all end up hotter.
The lady, okay, the mom, the guy who runs the women's soccer league in
the guy who. Oh, okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
He's a guy, and he runs.
But he's a guy. He's like the president of like or was it tennis or soccer? Who like kissed some?
Yes.
It was soccer, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure it was
soccer.
Soccer.
Yeah.
The kiss was. It wasn't just like a peck. He grabbed her head. It was inappropriate.
Wait, how long did it last?
Seconds. Not like.
Okay. I didn't see the video, so when I heard about it, I was like, oh, it just sounds like Europeans.
He had her. If I saw correctly, he had her head. Like this was
so there was no getting out of it.
There was no
escape.
No, she was not going anywhere.
But apparently his mother is on hunger strike right now to protest his mistreatment.
His mistreatment.
How old is his mother?
I have no idea.
This could be life-threatening.
Yeah, like she was on day 2 or day 3 of hunger strike, which is more than who was that politician who tried to do it like out front of a political out front of some political office in the summer heat this year, and he made it like 9 hours.
We should start hunger striking cancellations. That would be awesome.
I wanted him to get heat stroke just for being
He did?
good.
Didn't he?
No. He was never in any danger. It was all just LARPing. It was never real. Like what he was protesting wasn't real. No one remembers what he was protesting. They remember that he was LARPing a protest.
Yeah.
Like that is the complete backwards result. Like no, I have no idea why he was out there at all, except for like he was out there. There were people making believe that he was actually doing something noble, but he was drinking water and he had like people cool him off or whatever.
So yeah, like what I think they need to do, like if anybody could do this, I think we need the Taylor Swift cinematic universe. And it's like you make dramatized versions of her manager. There's an evil supervillain named Scooter. And you just have all sorts of characters from her life, and she just becomes a living, breathing comic book universe. And we just turn her into movies.
You'll like change the name of the villain to something like Cooper.
No, I like
something
Scooter.
that rhymes.
I mean, you could approach her people and see if they like the idea, because
I'm just saying it works because of the lore, because of her love of lore. Like the writers would have to be experts, and she can hire experts because all of her fans are super fans.
But it doesn't need to be in the Taylor Swift universe. She can just play a character.
Needs to be the Taylor Swift universe. We need the Swiftie.
It would be more interesting to see Taylor Swift play someone unlike her.
The Swiftie. Well, no, I'm speaking more like if it's going to live on past her, and it becomes its own thing.
Who's going to play her in the biopic?
That's a good. Who would play Taylor Swift?
Well, we don't know yet because the actor is probably 5 years old right now.
She'll have kids by then, and then her own daughter can.
Don't she think she's gonna ever have kids?
No.
No.
It could be one.
Maybe she'll have a kid, but I don't think she's gonna have a husband and kids. I think it'll be like she'll go and she'll shop for one, or she'll adopt, or it'll be some kind of because like her like I'm a fan, but it's pretty clear that her relationships throughout her life so far have been so volatile. The likelihood of her actually having a non-volatile relationship in the near future are probably very, very low.
Maybe she goes the Angelina Jolie route and adopts from another country.
That's what I was thinking too.
That's the NIMBY Hollywood version of.
It would be nice
puppy.
for her to have a family of her own.
Yeah,
I doubt it.
But yeah, it's like her own fans are her children.
Who was her first major boyfriend? I don't know her
major
lore. Like famous boyfriend.
I mean, there was the guy that she wrote "Teardrops on My Guitar" about from her hometown. Then after that, she had John Mayer, Joe Jonas.
Maybe she'll end up with John Mayer. I like the idea that she ends up back with she ends up back with like the first guy. It becomes a Hallmark movie that she can act as herself in.
Who else was there?
And they'll
Taylor
de-
Lautner was
And then she'll
one.
de-age herself rather than have somebody else play her as a younger version of herself. She'll pay to have like Marvel's de-aging technology used to play the younger version of herself.
Is it okay? She ended this announcement tweet with 1, 2, 3 LGB. If you know, you know. Does she have her fans like scream T for trans at her concerts?
I have no idea.
She's like 1, 2, 3 LGB, and they're like T.
She's talking about spill the tea, I bet, not the other
Is
tea.
that-
Or T for Taylor.
Yeah.
Well, what is LGB for then?
I don't know.
Let's go, Brandon. That's what it stands for. She's secretly a super Trump fan. That's what it actually is.
This is also giving Soulless cash grab. They're selling Eras Tour themed popcorn tubs and collectible cups.
I love it. I
at
love
theaters.
It. She's gonna make a ton of money.
I also thought this poster was a bad idea.
Oh yeah, let's show everybody the poster.
Tell me what you think this looks like on first impression, okay? What does that look like
Hold,
to
please.
you?
There we go.
That looks like she's farting into the microphone. Why would they choose this photo of all photos and not one of her singing? Why? I'm just asking questions that need to be asked.
asking questions.
Why?
We need Jesse Ventura on this. We need to have him ask the hard questions.
It's happened multiple times now where like headlining articles use a picture of her where she's in this exact position. Like it's becoming a pattern at this point.
I'm a fan.
And
I'm a fan.
I'm concerned. Am I wrong?
Yes.
Am I wrong?
Oh, Phil says you're wrong. Phil says
I'm
you're wrong.
It does not look like she's farting into.
I mean, there have been worse examples before this, so I was just like programmed to recognize.
There have already been videos made where people add the sound effects.
Yeah, they
to
added
it.
it.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
So you know what, her movie's gonna. I bet you it ends up doing good. What tends to happen is whenever there's a strike like this, some new thing comes around that proves that something else can fill a marketplace. It was reality TV before. Maybe what we'll find is that this is a marketable thing that they can do later
I
with
just
certain
can't
acts.
imagine paying to watch a concert that I'm not at.
Nope. Well, and even the one they did with BTS was a live concert that was being broadcast live.
At
It
least
wasn't,
that has like that hook to it.
but
But you're
they-
seeing it at the same time as everyone else.
I could be wrong about this, but I think Justin Bieber's first thing came out in theaters.
It
Limited
did. I
release.
saw it in theaters
Oh my gosh!
as a child.
Of course you did. You were definitely a child.
But that was it. It wasn't a concert show. It was like it had a storyline to it. It was
Well,
a documentary.
I mean, this will likely have something like that. It's still going to
think?
have a through line. It's not just going to be songs.
the
It'll have-
BTS one was just their concert.
I imagine this will be something where it's going to be like she has to make it to this show on time. She can't. Her flight is delayed, and there'll be something that they carry as a through line.
I just want to say the theater etiquette should be you're not singing along. You're not
Nobody
singing
knows what to
along
do in the
songs.
theater. Like, who's the first person who decides to sing or not?
I think you're gonna be disappointed.
They're gonna sing along. I
They're
mean, she did say
gonna
singing
sing
along is
along.
encouraged, but what would be the point then?
They're gonna
You're listening to
sing
everyone
along.
else sing the song.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Let's
be
review
singing.
it.
there
Let's
gonna be
do a review.
I'm not doing that.
That's hilarious.
I'm not doing
What
that.
could convince you? How many crisis parties for us to get Brett into that?
I'm
theater?
not going to a theater overrun by insane Taylor Swift fans.
Not even to date one of them.
Okay, how about this? If there is a single women only Taylor Swift showing, then yes, I'll
It'll
go
be
to that
pretty
one.
close.
I'll go.
If any of them are able to drag their boyfriends to that, they're basically single already. So
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing
okay,
that.
let's go to super
All right, let's do
chats.
it.
Quite Blackpilled said, Phil, could you fire off a few song recommendations to rage at the gym to? Heavier stuff ain't really my genre, but I lost 10 pounds when I found Watch the World Burn by Falling in Reverse. Appreciate it.
Cool. Probably not, but I mean,
Don't have any recommendations?
not off the top of my head. Putting someone on the spot like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I listen to Polyphia a lot. I Built the Sky is good, but I listen to like proggy nerd metal when I'm at the gym usually. And I also listen to like podcasts and
Oh,
books.
really?
Yeah, I listen to books. and
That's
stuff.
insane.
At the
Like,
gym.
Guy who's listening to a Hemingway audiobook at the gym.
That's just wrong. It's like, I had a friend, because like a lot of people skate with headphones on too, right? And I had a friend who would skate to audiobooks. I'm like, I did that once when I was younger. Never again.
I liked it.
Just never again.
I like it.
Just music only, please. It doesn't have to be good music. Something with a beat.
No, not necessarily.
I guess maybe I'm just not a good multitasker.
Maybe.
Listen to the Joe Rogan Oliver Anthony interview.
Still need to listen to that. I gave up on Rogan when he went to Spotify.
How do you feel about Oliver Anthony? Do you feel
you're trying to dredge this up again for engagement? I see what you're doing.
He's engagement farming, ladies and gentlemen.
He's engagement farming, and I'm not engaging with it. Shane H. Wilder said YouTube crashed and I had to reinstall, so
it's
sending
not a
this again.
conversation, it's engagement farming.
Yeah. I agree with Brett. My voice has been deemed cruel and unusual punishment in 38 states.
Bro, I'm with you. Like, just it's also worse, like, because you sound different on the phone.
Is there a support group for this?
You sound different on the phone than you do in real life, right? So
there's a support group for people who hate their own voices where you just give note cards. You just write on a chalkboard.
You're only allowed to do sign language. You're only or write it down, and it's bad, man. It's bad.
Eberson said Ahsoka is pretty good. It's live action Rebels season 5.
Yeah, I've seen mixed responses on all of it. For most of the people that I've talked to that either like it or dislike it, they're still just weary of Disney and exhausted by all that Disney entails when watching this stuff. So.
Marco said, for Crisis Party, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's hold off on the rest and we will come back after the fact. Okay. Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's talk about Florence's
Pugh. Nipples.
Yes, let's do
She
that.
wants to talk about her nipples again. Florence Pugh posted a picture of her with a sheer dress that showed her nipples last year in July 2022. And I feel like everyone else got over it, but she's still not over it. She still is bringing it up. And she wants everyone to talk about her nipples again. She thinks it's really important, and it's a matter of her personal freedom.
It's a fact of women in the West, Mary, that they have to find something to complain about. They need to be validated at every corner.
They're complaining about what they're allowed to do.
She's like,
not about what they're not allowed to do.
She's like, how dare I be allowed to do this and not every single person on the face of God's green earth support it?
This is stupid.
Yes, it is. But
here's what she said about it in this interview with Elle magazine. She said, I speak the way I do about my body because I'm not trying to hide the cellulite on my thighs or the squidge, that's a horrible word, in between my arm and my boob. I would much rather lay it all out. I think the scariest thing for me are the instances where people have been upset that I've shown too much of myself. When everything went down with the Valentino pink dress a year ago, like even just complaining, like I was wearing this Valentino dress and people were mad they could see my nipples through it. Like you just sound like a privileged bitch.
Yep.
Okay, my nipples were on display through a piece of fabric and it really wound people up. It's the freedom that people are scared of. The fact that I'm comfortable and happy.
You're not free unless you're showing people your butthole.
Keeping women down by commenting on their bodies has worked for a very long time. I think we're in this swing now where lots of people are saying, I don't give a shit. Unfortunately, we've become so terrified of the human body that we can't even look at my 2 little cute nipples behind fabric in a way that isn't sexual. We need to keep reminding everybody that there is more than one reason for women's bodies to exist.
There's a $20 one there from Ben Dillon.
It said, song recommendations, track 3R by 86. I have a prepared statement by Beeps. Anything by Big Business.
There you go.
Sorry, I can't say that word on YouTube. Or Florence Pugh is going to come get us.
She's gonna. They love it, man. They love to have something to complain about because you have the
even just mentioning that you were wearing a Valentino dress in anything that you're complaining about. You sound like Cher Horowitz when she got mugged and she was like, but this isn't a lie. Yeah. Like, stop. Think about how you sound. Like, read the room for 2 seconds and you'd realize how ridiculous you sound. I
guess part of it is also like back in the day, you used to be happy with somebody not agreeing with you as long as you were allowed to do it. Now it's not even just about being allowed to do it. It's about everybody supporting what you choose to do.
It used to be like people enjoyed like being shocking and offensive and like that people would not support what they do.
Yeah, it gave people who were actually rebellious strength
sense of accomplishment.
to be able to piss people off and know that they weren't approved of. But now everybody needs approval 24/7.
Whereas with this, literally no one disapproved of this.
She's like,
you see celebrity women wearing sheer stuff on red carpets that shows everything constantly. It's not a rare thing, but she made it into a thing when she did it.
That was
why?
the point. So that way she could, because we're talking about her, just so that she could.
There was like no backlash.
No.
And then she posted about it first, like this whole rant about being body shamed and how everyone's so scared of women's bodies.
She probably saw like 2 comments that were like not complimentary, and it was like, oh boy, blown all out of proportion.
And the fact that she has to compliment her own tits in the middle of virtue signaling, bloviating.
I mean, she has to lie to herself.
My cute little nipples. Like, stop.
Does she have a boy? Is she married? Does she have a boyfriend?
I don't know.
He should hit her with the calm down.
Stick.
He should hit her with the calm down or you're overreacting. I heard women love that.
You're being crazy right now.
You're like,
I'm not saying you're crazy. I'm just saying you're acting crazy.
Acting crazy.
You're acting like a crazy
She has a rumored new boyfriend named Charlie Gooch.
Well, Charlie Gooch needs to be like, listen, Florence, you're being dramatic.
Does that mean if they get married, she's Florence Gooch?
Yes.
That's a terrible idea.
I mean, Pugh and Gooch isn't the greatest set of names I've ever heard. But
imagine like they have a kid and the last name is hyphenated
Pugh Gooch. Gooch Pugh.
Gooch Pugh.
I think Gooch Pugh is worse.
They'll start a clothing brand, Gooch and Pugh.
These people are clowns.
Yeah, well, no,
they're laughing.
What it is also is that she's a straight white woman and she needs to find something to be oppressed about.
Yeah.
She's like, how am I going to be oppressed
if she's black and gay and in a wheelchair and a BLM supporter and is still complaining about this, I don't care.
Yeah, but I'm just saying she needs to get it in. She needs to get her points in, and she hasn't got any because she's a straight white woman.
She really didn't get into the reaction to the sex scenes that were in Oppenheimer. I guess it's because she's not allowed to talk about Oppenheimer.
Yeah, she can't talk about it right now.
But that's probably why
exactly
she brought this up.
She's talking about her
she
tits,
brought this up because people were
can't.
talking about her tits because of the Oppenheimer scene.
I love the idea that actually Christopher Nolan didn't want them to be in there.
She was like, no, this is really important for women.
My cute, what did she call them? My cute nipples need to be seen.
This is literally an advertisement for Oppenheimer because she is in Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
That movie is playing now, and she is out here talking about herself. And what happens? Oh, people bring up Oppenheimer. They talk about her in Oppenheimer.
Her 2 cute little nipples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, it's like I posed somewhat similarly in a movie that I can't talk about right now, but is maybe or may not be in theaters. But I don't think she'd be allowed to do that.
Are you allowed to talk about how you can't talk about something?
I have no idea. There's got to be ways around it.
No,
right?
but that's exactly, now that I'm putting it together, that's exactly what happened. Because it got banned in a couple of countries, which you would have expected to ban that anyway. I mean, that scene, it got censored with this CGI black dress over her body. And I would have much preferred to watch that version of the movie.
I just don't know why. Like, is there a male equivalent to this where guys are like, when I was younger,
talking about their cute little nipples?
Yes.
No, I haven't seen that.
But there's
before.
like the guys. This just doesn't happen, right? So this is a situation that's unique to the female celebrity. You know, where it's like, oh, I was being objectified by men when I objectified myself by showing my nipples in person in public.
Stupid.
She's complaining about how people see her boobs as sexual, and how there is more than one reason for women's bodies to exist. But I mean, she is the reason why women's bodies are objectified, like as a part of Hollywood that believes women's bodies are only to be objectified or made ugly to not be objectified.
If the meaning of if the reason humans exist is to make more humans, then by definition, the reason a woman's body exists is for sex to make more humans.
Labonte destroys Florence Pugh with facts and logic.
It's just the way that it goes. Like either that
Can
or
you say it like Ben Shapiro this time?
No, I don't have a very good. Do you hear my voice? I cannot do Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, it's not giving Ben Shapiro today.
This
it's
resonance
giving more of
is
a Matt
not gonna
Walsh
be,
vibe.
Yeah, maybe that probably. So, anyways,
They are for feeding children.
Yeah.
for
But
making more human
Is
beings.
she going to do that?
I just she's
With Charlie Gooch?
You know what the worst would possibly be? Would be like a buddy cop movie with her and Rachel Zegler.
Please no.
It would that'd be the greatest.
You're
movie.
putting that out there into the universe.
It would be the greatest thing ever because it would give us endless content to talk about. Where it's like the movie's just about them yelling at everyone. They're like, oh yeah, we play cops in the movie, but we don't really like cops because cops are bad, and we don't arrest the criminals in this movie. We just call social workers, and we have social workers.
No, they're the social workers. They're the duo of social worker that come.
Socialism workers, starring Florence Pugh. Starring Florence Pugh Gooch.
Gooch Pugh.
Gooch
Can
Pugh.
we get 21 Jump Street, but they're social workers?
Yeah, it's
But
amazing.
It has to be realistic, though. By the end of the movie, they all have to be dead.
Yes. It's like, and I thought that
From
my
calls
kindness
gone wrong, or
I
no,
thought that my kindness
all the
would
people that
deflect bullets.
start. All the people that start are dead at the end, and it's not a whole new one. It's a whole new one, but they've gone through 2, so it's like a whole new people come in for like the second act, and by the third act, everyone from the start to the second, they're all dead, and there's a whole new line of third act people. Just everyone gets slaughtered. It's a horror movie.
In the first, it's like, so Florence Pugh ends up on screen. She's just dead in the first 20 minutes.
They go to a crack house to go help someone, and some dude just like stabs her in the eye while he's calling her Tommy.
We heard there was a misunderstanding here.
Yeah, right. And the dude's like literally pulling his ear off, and he shoves his ear in her nose or something,
Then like Rachel Zegler has to show up. She has to pull off a woman who's like S-ing D for crack, and she's like, weird. I don't know why you
So
do
we're
that.
not gonna do that.
So we're not gonna do that again. He's basically a stalker.
Yeah.
Like this guy, he's making you give him a blowjob for crack. He's basically a stalker. Weird. Like, and then she dies.
Yeah. Then she gets thrown like out of the building into the street.
The guy just pushes her out the window, right? And then in the third act,
the
Brie
entire
Larson
time he's yelling at her,
up.
calling her Napoleon or something like.
And in the third act, Brie Larson shows up, and it's all downhill from there.
Oh God.
I'm ready for this movie. Somebody write the script
Just thinking
right now.
about this makes me want to die.
We should do this, and all of them have to show their nipples tastefully, because a social worker would never show you her nipples in a sexual manner. She would only show them in a nurturing manner.
When lethal force is necessary.
I'm so ready for this. We could make this movie. We could make this movie ourselves.
Florence Pugh's boobs were distracting in Oppenheimer. They were.
Yeah.
Because they're weird.
I turned to.
Are they? Why are they weird?
They're just. I'm not gonna go into a big long explanation. They were distracting looking.
Yeah.
That's hilarious that her boobs are so unique. that it's distracting.
Like,
it was just not a good choice cinematically.
Who did we? I didn't go with. You went to a separate day,
separately.
Right? Like, but I don't remember who I
also was in the front row on accident. I was just like craning my neck.
It's. I'm ready for them to make this movie.
You're in the front row, so they're gigantic and they're all.
Like I have to look at one at a time. I'm gonna get whiplash.
Yeah. I said they look like upside down apricots, but that was.
That's an interesting comparison.
They didn't look right. They didn't look right. But guys, the movie would be fantastic, and it would be infinitely better. See, that's what the thing is. Like I'm making this joke, but what these ladies would have to do if they want to revamp is to like be able to laugh at themselves and make a movie that pokes fun at yourself. That's a good way to win people back. Is like show that you don't take yourself too seriously.
That's never.
It's why everybody liked mean tweets from celebrity. Like
that's what feminists are so obsessed with, though, is feeling like they're taken seriously, specifically by men.
Yeah,
they want men to take them seriously. They are obsessed with what men think of them.
They want the president to take them seriously.
Yeah. So in like they to do that, feminists would have to be able to let their guard down. And oddly enough, the funny part is they would win people back. You win people back when you show that you're not stuck up all the time. That you're a human being. That you have flaws and you can laugh at your own shortcomings.
Why do you think I Love Lucy was so popular?
There you go.
Oh God, she was hilarious too.
So,
supposedly she did that to spend more time with her husband, and then they ended up getting in fights because of it.
All right. Got a couple super chats there.
Okay. Jacob Edler said, shout out to Phil Switch Engage 2010 in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Oh, Milwaukee.
Like
I like
that.
that.
Milwaukee. There you go.
Disco Jensen said, payday is next Wednesday. Till then for the party.
Yes, guys, I would like a second crisis party. Could we get a second crisis party? I'm asking today. I'm asking.
Not nicely, but he's asking.
I'm not asking politely, but I am asking.
Yeah.
Olivia Claire said, you could say that Phil was filling in.
Nah, but
Is that the first time you've heard that?
Yikes.
No, it was not.
That is
They
not.
call me the fill-in.
But it's Olivia Claire, so she gets a pass.
There you go.
She does the after show, and she is a big supporter. So
Thank you, Olivia Claire.
Mark Guidetti said, chocolate is safe for cats. Zookeepers use chocolate milk to train tigers and jaguars.
Nom nom nom.
Aw, that's cute.
Made Mary's day. She's like, that was like a timeline cleanse for Mary's
They
brain.
like chocolate milk.
chocolate
That's
milk is awesome. Chalky milk
adorable.
is the superior milk.
I did see something the other day that said they thought that it said like a frightening amount of Americans believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows.
God, it's probably true.
The brown eggs come
Probably
from brown chickens.
Oh God, I'm dying.
No, I heard that it's actually like expired milk that they repasteurize and then add the chocolate flavor to it. But
I don't buy
ignore that I ever said that.
Look, just get Fairlife.
Continue.
Get Fairlife. Fairlife is really, really good. It's a little pricey, but it's good.
Chalky milk and Dino Nuggies.
You know,
Name a better duo. I'll wait.
I mean, I love Dino Nuggies too. It's not like they're bad.
Yeah,
They don't have to be Dino, but you know.
it helps.
I don't eat like store bought.
Make them fight each other until ketchup explodes.
Yeah, they're bleeding ketchup. See? I know how to have a good time.
Healthy.
That's
Okay.
right.
You got to work it off at the gym afterwards.
No kidding around. Every day after the gym, I have a chocolate milk because chocolate milk has got a really, really, really good ratio of protein to sugar or protein to carbs for right after you train. Awesome. That is true. I go and I buy like 6 of the 2 liters or liter bottle of Fairlife chocolate milk every time I go.
You have one at a time.
What?
Like you just finish the whole thing.
The big liter ones? No, not one. Like I'll go, but it'll take like 2 days to go through one of them. 2 or 3 days to go through one.
People in the chat are now talking Dino Nuggies.
Dino Nuggies are great.
There you go.
Tacti Plati said, Phil, any update on the, I don't even know what that emoji is. What is that?
I can't tell.
Oh, cricket.
P.S. Great job last night. On the cricket?
I get home last night and there's a frigging cricket in my house, in my apartment somewhere. And so my apartment is, down there. It's just a living room and my bedroom. And so it's real small and you just all night long. And I'm like, I'm going to
You
friggin'
can't
die.
find it?
I can't find it at all. No.
Yeah,
Can't
you're
find
going to
it.
need to do a chemical solution.
I know. I need to maybe get a cat or something. But
Hold
thank
on.
you for your concern.
Let's hold off on the rest. We'll come back when we're done. Let's talk about Miley Cyrus's brother. If that's embarrassing to hear, it's because he's not famous enough
He
on
is
his
a
own.
star in his own right.
He was in a
He was
band
in
that-
Metro Station.
Which I've heard one song of in my entire life, and it was in 2007.
You never listened to Shake It?
No.
No?
There's a super chat there from Airtess00.
Okay. Next Crisis Party Sounds needs Dino Phil Screech.
Yeah, could somebody clip the Phil Dino Nuggie screech and send it to me, please? I've got it saved up. So, in fact, you know what it is going to be? Because I've got Ian doing Roberto Jr. I've got, I now have Phil doing Dino Nuggie screech. We'll just have Timcast employees do animal impersonations for the next Crisis Party sound effect once Carter gets done with the main effect.
You should get an animation that has like little dinosaurs and stuff like run across the screen at the bottom during a Crisis Party.
I'm down. I'm so down. All right.
It would be kind of neat if you had animations for the Crisis Party.
Yeah, it would be.
I'm only one man. Mary's only one woman. It's a somebody wants to come and do that.
That means we need a non-binary producer.
That is true.
No,
To come along
you
and
literally just need to go talk to the owner.
Yep. So, all right, guys. So the Trace Cyrus, he is Miley Cyrus's brother. He was in the band Metro Station. If you don't know who that is, I don't blame you.
He dated Brenda
Yep.
Song.
That I remember
I hope
Brenda
you know
Song.
who that is.
Yep. So he had some comments about women who do OnlyFans and the idea of morality. And in America today, if you have an idea of questioning any woman's morality, especially when it comes to sexual topics, you are going to be dragged to the high heavens.
Even TMZ, which is rarely biased, called it a bizarre, rambling attack.
Yeah.
An attack. So here's what he actually said. There are so many girls that do OnlyFans that have lost their chance of ever settling down with a good guy with morals. They will try and call those men insecure for having standards. They get a lot of attention from guys on OnlyFans, so they think they have options, but any guy who's so desperate to see sexual content they're willing to pay for it is a desperate loser. A lot of successful guys will sleep with these girls, but they don't want to wife them. I see a lot of these girls speaking out on this now, saying they can't get a serious relationship. It's because men see the value in those girls strictly for sex. They don't look at those women and equate their value as a future wife, mother, or loyal partner. I know some amazing girls that are genuinely good people that do OnlyFans. I just think this independent mindset of not needing a man is extremely toxic and leads to a very lonely future. I hope more girls continue to speak up about this so other girls know the risk of getting into it. Having a good man and a family will bring you more happiness in old age than OnlyFans ever could. So you can imagine that his followers, which are mainly Miley Cyrus stans, are extremely enraged and furious about this. And also, Farrah Abraham tried to get into it with him on social media. She said that he was being disrespectful and that men who are on OnlyFans have no problem getting commitment from their wives.
Is that true?
I don't even know what
that's a big bomb to drop without. Like,
it was
I'm
a big
gonna
claim.
need I'm
it was
source
a big
broing
claim,
this
and
one.
I didn't see a source for it.
I'm source broing this one.
She said
Where's the
balance
source on
and
that?
brand is real. Forget limited, insecure mindsets. And he said, I've been defeated. The most intelligent woman of this generation has put me in check. Farrah Abraham, guys.
I do like the snark on his part for not backing down, right?
Yeah.
Like,
apparently, he says all women should do OnlyFans just because Farrah Abraham said that.
she did.
I mean, you can.
She did.
Yeah.
You can say that it's like not a great idea to do OnlyFans if you're looking to have
a family,
and if that's something that you think is in your future. And at the same time, be like, if that's not, it's okay to live your life that way. Like, one of the things that I think is a big problem in society today is the idea that you have to hold up any number of things that are literally anti-family, right? Like, you can have society that says, look, we are an accepting society that makes room for all different types of lifestyles and stuff, but we want to hold up the nuclear family as the ideal and as good, because this is what tends to make the majority of people happy. That's not to say all you people that don't find happiness in this are wrong.
It's not a one-size-fits-all
Exactly.
solution.
It's just to say that this is not a bad option, and it has historically made most people happy. All the other options, they're still options, and you can do them in America. It's fine, but we endorse these things, and the things like having an OnlyFans, like living my lifestyle. Like, I'm in a band that toured or still tours, and that's something that is a give and take. Like, it's hard to have a family if you're on the road. That's something I went into being in a band knowing full well, So the idea that people aren't in a position or shouldn't be allowed to criticize an OnlyFans girl's lifestyle or my lifestyle, as a touring musician, it is all open for criticism, and there's nothing wrong with saying, look, it's better to focus on wholesome lifestyles and tell people this is what's good for or most likely to be good for you.
I think the inherent difference there is that you're not ashamed of the lifestyle you've chosen, and I think the OnlyFans women are.
Maybe
I think that they're coping really hard because they're ashamed of what they do. Their families disapprove. The guys don't respect them. Even other women don't respect them and know deep down, even if they celebrate it on the surface, that they would never do that. And that's why they're being so overly defensive about the choice that they've made.
Do you think some of them don't think about it that deeply? That they don't think about it in the terms of whether they're respected or not? They just do.
Because you have to push it down. if it hurts you that much to realize.
I mean, I
you're
just
doing
don't know
wrong.
if people think that deeply about anything these days.
I don't think so, but I think of it like this, right? So like a girl's like, maybe she's danced, right, in a strip club or whatever, and so she's comfortable with being naked. She gets on OnlyFans and say she's a decent looking girl, and within a month she's making more per month than she makes in 3 months at the strip club. You know, so it's like...
But ironically,
And
that
very
comes
few of
from a
them do that.
mindset. They say, oh, you're insecure if you wouldn't date a girl with an OnlyFans. But that lifestyle comes from a mindset of insecurity because you're chasing after the security that that amount of money gives you.
I think...
That you feel you couldn't get from a man who provides for you and a family, or you couldn't get from
There's
a
so-
corporate
there's
job,
so much
which
less
I
of that out
grant
there
is
now.
totally soul crushing, but there's no laptop job more soul crushing than doing OnlyFans.
Well, I mean, maybe, but I think that I think you're assuming there's a lot of assumptions.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think there's a little bit too many assumptions in what you said. Not that your point isn't taken. I just think that there's a lot of things that you're saying that, like I said, I think there's a lot of assumptions in it. So
I just think for a lot of it, it's like nowadays, what were we talking about with Florence Pugh earlier was that, thank you guys. It used to be that if you wanted to live a life that was not deemed part of the mainstream, you accepted that you weren't going to be seen that way. And if it didn't, you know, for a lot of them, it seemed like it invigorated them. It's like they don't feel the need for society's approval. And that was fine.
the subversion is kind of cool.
Yeah. Now you need to both approve of everything and be able to live the alternative lifestyle. And like I said, I don't care. Like, I make no judgments either way. I don't feel bad for you if you have a hard time finding a person who wants to be married to you, because my hope would be that if you're a full-fledged adult, you've thought this through, you've put you've really, really put your mind to what you're about to do. You've made risk versus reward assessments about whether whether the money for this is worth the struggle it's going to cause later, or at the very least you considered, am I going to be looking for someone later? Now, a lot of them probably aren't thinking that far ahead, but I can't speak for them. I can only speak for myself. My hope would be that if I was in their shoes, which I wouldn't be because I just wouldn't be, that they would have thought that through. As a fully grown adult, with your own agency, responsible for your own actions, but you can't expect everyone to agree with your lifestyle. And it doesn't make a person insecure to disagree with you.
The whole thought, thinking things through, is kind of what my point was earlier, about a girl that dances, right? If in a month you make 3 times what you would make in a month, right away, if that happens that quickly, there isn't a lot of time to think it through, right? They're already dancing. They're not thinking about dancing at a club is not the same thing as putting videos on the internet. That's a whole different animal, because they stay. So you don't have time to think about that. Oh, it's for girls that are dancing, they probably aren't thinking. It's different. It's not, to them, it's just oh, well, I'm already getting naked, and it doesn't occur to them
it's
that
incrementally desensitizing yourself, normalizing a behavior to yourself that you would have never considered.
Exactly.
There was a whole trend in Hollywood in movies to talk about the stripper who was stripping to pay for law school, because you wouldn't see later, that life. At the very least, you could leave it behind at a certain point. Maybe that's a bit of a pipe dream to think that's the way that works, but it's a stereotype for a reason. But also think about what Pinky Doll said recently. She's like, how did my pictures end up on Google?
Yeah.
How did my OnlyFans pictures end up on Google?
Oh, you put something on the internet and then people posted it elsewhere on the internet?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's like with Florence Pugh, freeing the nipple. If you're shouting from the rooftops about how much you love yourself and how comfortable you are with how you look and putting that out there into the world, it's really difficult for people to believe you. You're overcompensating for something.
I say the same thing every time I see a video. It's pushing back on my haters. It's like, I don't care. I'm like, you made this video, therefore you pretty much care. Like if you took the time to film this video, edit this video, and release a video about how much you don't care what your haters think, you care at least a little bit. So it's why I always laugh when people, it's like the best way that you can win in an online argument is to not engage, because what a person who's not arguing in good faith is doing is just looking to get any reaction out of you they can. Knowing that they took up any of your time is what drives them. So by not engaging, you win. And in this case, they'd be better off just not engaging.
A couple of comments here say, come educate your brother at Miley Cyrus on minding his business regarding other people's sex
That
lives.
is another
That is
false
so
dichotomy.
disingenuous.
Yes, it is.
Someone having an OnlyFans, being a public presence, posting all of this and promoting it on social media is not their sex life. It's their career.
But not even just that,
And it's a public one.
You don't get to put things out for public consumption and expect, like if I want, like for the most
it'd
part.
be one thing if you were a peeping Tom who looked into someone's window and saw them doing some debaucherous sex act and then posted about how wrong that is. That's not what's happening here.
Exactly. If you put up any kind of profile on the internet, or you put up pictures or videos, and then someone takes them and puts them somewhere else, you are in no position to complain. Not at all, because you put them on the internet. Like, that's it. Too bad.
You
it
get
happened.
to make your
Pinky doll,
profile
deal with it.
private, make your profile private, don't monetize it in any way. I don't even remember the quote, but it's basically like, the only way to avoid criticism is to see nothing, say nothing, do nothing your whole life. Like if that's what you want, like if you want to live a life free of the critique of others, especially in a world like the internet where, avatars and anonymity give people free license to treat you awful. I've been great. I got some really funny ones recently, because it's one thing for people to make fun of like the show or like whatever they think my politics are, but I've gotten some ones making fun of skating again recently. I was like, it's like the 90s all over again. This is great. Like, and it's from anonymous accounts that don't, that I don't know, and it makes me laugh. Because it's like, you have to expect that. If you're going to be a public figure, you're going to get the pushback somehow. We get comments all the time. Part of the job. Part of the job. So.
Another comment said, come get your bro at Miley Cyrus. He's out here slut shaming on his story. I have not seen the phrase slut shaming as often these days.
Yeah.
But that too is a very disingenuous accusation, because I might agree that something is slut shaming if it's for an invalid reason. Okay, like if you see a woman wearing a skirt that you think is too high above her kneecap, and you think that she's a slut, and you call her a slut, you maybe could call that slut shaming, because it's not grounded in anything she's ever done. But if someone is,
but it's still something they're putting out in the world.
If someone is behaving in a slutty way, if someone is a literal digital prostitute, how is shaming them for that, or just merely criticizing them for that, slut shaming? It's quite literally what they have chosen to be.
That's a hooker shaming.
Yeah.
I feel like sluts and hookers are different.
Also, I love the idea that
like sex workers and sluts and sex workers are different.
But there's a lot of overlap in that Venn diagram.
Fair enough. But if you're talking about like when you specify sex workers, I feel like that is like a different thing than sluts. And in my opinion, sluts are like a bad idea, because that's where like STDs get spread and stuff.
At this
Sex
point,
workers tend to not do
sluts
that.
are now the trad wives compared to the
and the trad wives are
e-hookers.
Mennonites. And the real trad wives are Mennonites.
Basically, or the cave women at this point. Yeah.
Trad wife, like TM circle, like I'm monetizing my trad wifeness on the internet.
My trad wifery.
Yeah, it's I'm making a lot of money by posting pictures in floral dresses that my mom would have worn that I know you never wear out in public other than on your Instagram videos, ladies.
Yeah. He also had Trey Cyrus had a public statement recently, a couple days ago, where he said that he would be more successful if he didn't come from a famous family.
That's funny.
He said, I love my family so much, but I think I'd be much more successful if I wasn't part of a famous family. People immediately want to judge me and discredit all my hard work because of who I'm related to, but that's so far from the truth. I got a record deal without anyone from my label even knowing who I was related to until after they signed me.
I would like to. I would like him to prove that. But if so, that's awesome.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Is that true? Like, how did he go under a different name?
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there, Cyrus.
I mean, but Cyrus isn't such an uncommon name that they would necessarily know it was.
It depends on when he joined Metro Station, because
remember, it's not just
right. It's also his dad. But like when Metro Station was big in like 2007, that was at the peak of Hannah Montana.
He's like his record label Shroud. He does Boot, Scoot, and Boogie.
Yeah.
Right.
And Wrecking Ball. Oh, I guess Wrecking Ball came out like a decade later. But fine. We'll round up to a less. He does Boot, Scoot, and Boogie Party in the USA together as his tryout, and he's like, "Why would they sign me with a last name like Cyrus?"
Someone commented, "I never knew she had a brother."
Also, I also want to point out that there's nothing in any way bizarre or even incoherent about his post. No. It's a very reasonably worded and fair exchange. Yeah. You can disagree with him. Absolutely, but characterizing it as bizarre is hilarious. It's
like rambling. It's a very well written post as well.
But that all points to some kind of deficiency mentally. It points to mental illness or something like that. It's like calling him crazy. They
did one of the articles today. Said like Oliver Anthony laments porn in bizarre interview with Joe Rogan. Yeah. Like, you scumbags. It's you absolute scumbags.
Yeah. It's about credibility and about attacking the person's ability to reason.
It's like the news that came out about the two guys who were sentenced to who did bad things in Uganda, and they said that they were prosecuted for, what was it? It was
for being
aggravated
homosexuality.
And when in reality there was PDF file going on there.
And R-wording of like an elderly person or something like that in the media. No matter how much you hate the media, you don't hate them enough. I encourage you to hate them more.
Yes.
So that way, every time somebody says Brett and Mary are journalists, just know I take that as a slur. Yes. I take that as a slur, and the worst kind of slur. Let's go to Super Chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Florence over here thinking she's the next William Wallace crying for freedom." Yep. Truly, a freedom fighter. DCNC said, "I saw Oppenheimer in IMAX. I didn't see anything cute or little." Ooh. Victor Von Derp said, "Nips come in a few varieties." I'm not gonna continue the rest of that. Yesh sent $1 without a message. Thank you.
Hold off on the rest and we'll come back after the fact, shall we?
We kind of short on time.
We're running low. Do you want to just finish up? Do we get the?
I think we should get through the super chats.
All right, let's do that.
Victor Von Derp said, "You're a Yankee, Phil, so you don't know this. 3 tablespoons molasses in 2 cups of water mixed, set out in a bowl or mason jar. Cricket ambrosia, they drown."
Okay.
That's a good idea.
I love that somebody just has like hardcore advice on stuff like that. It's awesome.
I'm only half Yankee. My mom's from South Carolina. She grew up there, and my parents met in South Carolina. So, as a heads up.
Disco Jensen said, "Life is about sacrifice, not happiness. An entire generation missed that message."
I mean, they never pushed that message to my generation. Not ever.
So it's not like missing the message. It's just like
it was never given there. Like the women were told like you can have whatever you want.
Yep.
And I don't even know what the hell I was told. I wasn't told anything. I was told like go to college, you might get a job.
Men are
really
told
sad.
Very little.
I wasn't told like I don't think I was told like take out these loans, go to college, you'll get a job. Office Space just came out. Maybe I'd get to hit a printer or a fax machine at some point with a bat.
That's really sad.
Like I don't remember any type of like. But the thing is like you with music, I had skating from the age of 12, so I had something and I had a set path that I was on. So even if the world was telling me a message, I was likely ignoring it to do what I wanted to do. Because I was passionate about something, but it's not like there was like inherently a bunch of parts of society that were saying like, go do this, do like for the, like, I guess you could say after 9/11, it was like, go to war. That was a message that was going on for a while.
That you thankfully ignored.
Yes. Well, Handy, I wouldn't have been, even if I had wanted to join the military, I wouldn't have been allowed because of deaf in one ear and heart murmur. So. There's a couple more.
Victor Von Derp said, keep in mind, Brett, the potential payout to divorce you grows with each passing year. The incentive is there and always looming like the sword of Damocles. You're going to bet on forever love? Good luck.
Well, I'll tell you what. When I
We
go
were
to
literally just joking about that.
When
Like,
I
she's
go
going to
to
get
the-
half your debt, too.
Yeah, I was like, he's like, you want half this debt? Like, look, when I go and I inevitably use a fantastic pickup line on some Swiftie at the
Hey, girl,
like,
want to help me pay off half this student debt?
yeah. like
There's no catch.
And I'm hitting up and asking her questions about her mid-level marketing job. Like, oh, tell me about your laptop job. When I eventually bag that woman and marry her, I will keep that in mind. I will keep that in mind.
Like having a crisis over here. DCNC said, how many million hours of videos exist on the internet now? Maybe the videos get lost in the ocean. Not a recommendation, just saying.
Do you think that's like eventually like what all these kids are going to hope for? Like, I really do think that like a lot of the kids who have family, like parents that do OnlyFans, is they just end up like, it's just going to be so common by that time period.
I would bet anything at all. There are 14-year-old dudes, kids, teenagers, whatever, that get together and they find out their friend, the kids they don't like, the girls they don't like at school, they find out their mom's name and they search on the internet to find. I guarantee there are kids constantly looking to see if someone they know has a mom that does OnlyFans.
How often they find it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Think about it. Like, think about how valuable that information is in high school. You have a massive power over someone.
I mean, more likely it's going to be their classmate.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
If you really think about
that's
this,
illegal.
guys, there are two.
Oh, well, no, I'm talking about like 13, 14, 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
On a planet with 8 billion people, there are 2.1 million creators on OnlyFans. So just keep that in mind when you think about.
Honestly, the ability that people have, especially younger people, to search and the creative ways that they can come up with to search things, there is no reason to think that 2 million is a number that is prohibitively large for finding an individual. No, when you can be like, not when you're talking about people.
What I'm saying is that there's just not that many.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I misunderstood you. It's just a very small amount of actual people doing it.
Yeah.
So.
And how many of those are owned by management companies and they're not real women?
That's worse. Like, you end up like yours. Like,
how
my
many
mom,
of them are
she
AI?
sold some bikini pics to a modeling agency 10 years ago, and I can't escape it.
I'm telling you, kids, that is gold to kids that are looking to trash another kid's reputation. So that's valuable information. There are kids that are motivated.
Girls would use that information.
Absolutely,
too.
they would.
Yeah.
They would
Evil,
crush
mean
other girls.
have not changed that much.
100%.
Yeah.
They haven't gotten feminists yet. Bender McSimpson said, Phil, do you already know the lyrics for Five Finger Death Punch songs, or did you have to learn them real fast?
Some of them I know, and some of them I had to learn really fast. I knew a good portion of the set.
What if you had to pull out your phone in the middle?
No.
Has that happened?
What I'll do is I'll write keywords. So the first word of the whatever the line is for a song, I would write the first word, because usually the first word once the first word gets filled in, the rest of it falls into place if you know it fairly well. So
I've seen some pretty big stars have to like pull out their phone to find their own lyrics.
Oh yeah. People are dumb.
Yeah.
I was listening to, me and Kellen was doing post-production on IRL the other night, and I was showing him old Twista and Do or Die albums, and and like you want to like, or if you listen to like ODB or any of these old rappers, like they don't lose it. No. Those lyrics are steel trap for them because it's part of the performance.
And you can't, like, one of the things is like with rap, you can't like slop it through. Like if I'm in a part and I forget it, I can kind of slop it through. But a lot of times. But it ruins
the flow of the song.
Yeah, with rap, it'll ruin it.
If you, for instance, if you then go and like try to perform the song with that, like if you sing along to it and then you screw up, the timing is gone, and you can't pick that back up. Though it's one of the great reasons to listen to old Crazy Bone albums, because it's like you don't have to, because he's saying things, but his brain, his mouth is moving so fast you can't process it anyways. So you just it's the same thing, but he's actually saying things. It's crazy.
Ryan Kennel said the 50 Cent clip shows him full on throwing a second mic if you play the whole thing.
I have that here, right here.
Okay. A second one?
Yeah.
The other one didn't work either? The new one they gave him?
That's the second one. That's the one that hit the woman. The first one isn't the one that hit the woman.
Oh, okay.
This is the one that F's her
Wow.
off. Yeah.
What an actual, like, child.
Yeah, that's why it's bad.
Yeah, but we give 50 Cent a pass because he clowns Madonna. So he's allowed. He's allowed. He clowns Madonna. He's like, she's old. He's like, why do you dress like a bad... He makes fun of her, and that's we give him credit for that.
Shania Wilder said Boot Scoot and Boogie was Brooks and Dunn. Brett, you're thinking Achy Breaky Heart.
Achy Breaky Heart. Thank you. Correct. You're absolutely correct. Brooks and Dunn.
Metro Station does a shaky breaky.
Shaky Breaky Heart, and it's an emo song.
Yeah.
Be great. All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video, and would you subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? Thank you very much for that. Phil, my friend, thank you so much for joining us today.
Cheers. Thank you for having me.
Let everyone know they can find
you. I am Phil That Remains on X or Twix or whatever you want to call it. I am Phil That Remains Official on the old Instagram. The band is All That Remains. You can find us on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, the old YouTube, Pandora, the internet.
All right, Mary. Oh, there's one more there.
This one's from Waffle Sensei. Not going to name them here, but there's literally websites of how to find who has OF in your town. It's going to be a sad future for these kids.
There you go.
Wow. But how do they find out? That's like doxing, right?
I don't know.
Yikes.
I don't know. I don't think kids think of it that like in the terms of doxing.
Yeah, and if you're 14 years old, what are you going to do? Like,
they don't really have moral compasses yet.
Yeah, you'd be like, your mom's a whore.
Just
rough, terrible.
Be careful with your choices, ladies and gentlemen. If you choose to do such things, just think it through first, would you? All right, Mary, where can they find you?
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on Twix. That is also Mary Archived.
Perfect. It's going to catch on, ladies and gentlemen.
We're trying.
If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twix at Brett Dastovic on both of those platforms. This show, Pop Culture Crisis, is here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. And if you would like to listen to the audio version of this podcast, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify, you can write an article about it later and put, they went on a bizarre rant or something like that. So, evil media. If you want to follow the show on social media.
Unhinged screed.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. We'll be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Do you guys ever feel used when I do that?